In this video, we're going to be talking about the Shure MV7X and whether this is the right microphone for you. Let's jump into the video. Hey, what's going on, party people, and thanks for tuning in to another video. If this is your first time watching, my name is Walter Jeanette, founder and creative director of Create, Inspire, and Solve. And on this channel, you can expect to find inspiration and solutions that are going to help you build a better brand, grow your business, and help you create a community around the things that you're most passionate about. So thank you for watching. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, click on that bell so you can be notified every single time that I post new content to the channel. But let's jump into today's topic. All right, so right out the gate, let's just go ahead and talk about the Shure MV7X and some of the most prominent features that come along with this microphone. Out the gate, you can see that it is an XLR only microphone. This is totally different from the from its baby brother, from its predecessor, the Shure MV7, that actually had USB XLR and a headphone jack on that. So if you're wondering whether or not the MV7X is going to be for you, we can just start off. That's going to be the biggest difference between the MV7 and the MV7X. So if you have the MV7 and you're looking to upgrade, you may not need to upgrade. It may just specifically be based on your use case. If you're recording directly into a computer, then hey, stick with the MV7. If you're trying to upgrade your audio or you're using something like an audio interface, then the MV7X may be for you. And one of the reasons I think they're making this change is because they're doubling down on this being a podcast microphone, and recording through your XLR gives you the opportunity to have more control over your audio. One of the things I love that Shure is doing is they're putting a focus on voice. Out the gate, you see with the branding on the box, it says that this is a podcast microphone, and they're really targeting podcasters and musicians, people who are really focusing on the voice-centric type of audio work, voice-centric content. And it tells you, that they're using voice isolation technology, which helps you separate your voice from unwanted background noise, and it gives you the ability to record uninterrupted audio every single time. One of the things they say is that you're going to get perfect recordings in imperfect rooms. And so that's one of the things I love about dynamic microphones like the Shure MV7. You hear me talk about the Samsung Q2U all the time, still being probably my most recommended microphone, especially if you're on a budget. And then you see me, most of the videos I record is with the Rode Podmic. And like I said, I wanted to jump into the Shure space just because I get a lot of questions from a lot of different people, asking about what's the best microphone, how can I level up my live stream, how can I level up my podcast, YouTube content. And so I really just wanted to kind of make sure that I'm providing the most value possible. And I think Shure is a great option for you. At the time of recording this video, the mic right now is priced at $179. So if you look at the line of microphones that Shure offers, you have the Shure SM7B, you have the baby brother, which is the Shure MV7, which we talked about earlier, and then you have now the Shure MV7X. So who is this microphone actually for? I think this is going to be a great option again for podcasters. Again, they're targeting podcasters. They're targeting people who are doing a lot of voice-centric or voice-specific work, like musicians, spoken word artists. Maybe you're doing some voiceovers. Maybe you're doing some audio books. Maybe you're giving a lot of keynote speeches, especially if you're still doing a lot of things remote on live stream. This is going to be a great option for you, again, especially at that price point of $179, because remember, you're still going to need an XLR audio interface to work with this. Right now, I'm recording into my Rodecaster Pro. That's about a $600 device, and I'm not saying that you need the Rodecaster Pro because it has its own special use case, but you may want to use something like the Scarlett Focusrite 2i2 or something like that, or the Scarlett Focusrite Solo, which is definitely going to give you great audio, but it's still going to help you stay within your means and stay within your budget. So again, if you're already podcasting and say you want to take your audio to the next level, I think this is going to be definitely a good recommendation for you. If you're new to the podcasting or the YouTube or the live streaming space, I think this is going to be a great option for you. Right now you're listening to me. I don't have any audio processing going on. This is what the mic sounds like straight out of the box. I may have to boost the dB just to boost the audio levels just a little bit, just to make sure it's bearable, it's palatable for you to actually listen to. And I'm going to do some audio tests a little later on in the video, so definitely stay tuned for that. All of the chapters are posted in the description, so if you do want to go ahead and skip forward, you can skip forward, but I'm going to get to that in a second. But I wanted to make sure you just kind of understand, hey, I'm thinking about getting into podcasting. I want to live stream. I do a lot of conferences, webinars, Zoom, different types of things, and I want to make sure that my audio is great. Is the Shure MV7X for me? I think the Shure MV7X is a great option for you. So let's talk about some of the things that I don't like about the Shure MV7X. So one of the things I noticed as soon as I pulled the Shure MV7X out of the box is that it's very light. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, especially compared to something like the Rode Podmic. That mic is a tank. Like, you can tell it is well built. This microphone, even though it's not like, I wouldn't say this is necessarily made for travel unless you have a specialized case for it. I'm not going to be taking it anywhere. I'm not going to be using it for mobile streaming or anything like that. It's going to stay here in my office studio space. So it's not that big of a problem, but it's just very light. And it's not to say that I don't think it's well built. I was just very shocked that it was very light, especially compared to something like the Rode Podmic, which if you were to hit somebody with that, they would be probably concussed for life. The second thing that concerns me a little bit about the Shure MV7X is this pop filter. All right, so right now I'm talking across the microphone. I'm trying to use the best possible mic technique as far as me talking across it. Now, one of the things I noticed in looking at other people's videos and some of the audio testing that you will see me do later is the plosives that you get out of this microphone. Because the sensitivity is a little higher coming out the box, those plosives are going to be a lot more apparent and a lot more pronounced. You see, I'm trying to make sure I'm not trying to stress the P any more than I am. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what that sounds like. What I actually did, a lot of people did this with the Shure MV7 because they still wanted it to look like a Shure SM7B, as they actually bought the pop filter that goes on the SM7B, and I actually put this on the MV7X. I'm going to show you what that looks like when we get over in the audio test, but that's pretty much it. Those were the two main things. It's just, I was a little concerned about the build quality, whether, could it hold up a beating, for those of you who are doing, traveling podcasting or traveling web shows like that. And then just the plosives, because of the sensitivity, which is a good thing as far as the plosive that you get out of this specific pop filter. That's pretty much it. But now let's go ahead and jump over into these audio tests, and I'm going to be comparing this specifically to the Rode Podmic. I'll have some other videos coming out where I compare this to, like, the Blue Yeti, Samsung Q2U, so definitely look forward to those. But because I personally use the Rode Podmic in all my videos, for my audience, you'll probably be happiest to see that comparison. So I wanted to show you what you can expect to get from this out of the box, how I would actually process it, and the use case, that I would use it for in my workflow. So let's jump over there, check out the audio test. All right, so right now we are talking directly into the Rode Podmic as if it was directly out of the box. As you can see, if we go in here, none of the processing is on, so we're getting an absolutely clean sound. If we look at the levels, again, I'm hitting 40 on the gain, and just so you can confirm, on the microphone we have this set to the dynamic setting. All right, so you're now listening to me talk on the Shure MV7X, and I can tell you immediately this is a lot more sensitive than the Rode Podmic. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but it is a lot more sensitive already out the gate as far as what I hear. Now, it may not necessarily show that on the meters, and I'm pretty much talking at about the same distance as I was talking on the Rode Podmic. But just so we can confirm, if I go here, look at the channel, all right, we have it set to dynamic, so there is no preset on the Rodecaster Pro for that. All right, and we have the audio processing turned off. There is no audio processing here. And then the levels, I have it set to 40, but I actually might, you can see I'm kind of hitting above that. So I might, to match this up, I would probably be comfortable maybe 35. Maybe 35 is what I might actually would go with. And I'm not sure if you can actually, somewhere around 35, 36. I think between 35 and 37, I would be safe because sometimes I do get excited. I'm so excited. But I think one of the things you can also tell is the plosives. And I think I use pretty good mic technique as far as not talking directly into the mic, but talking across the mic. And still making sure I speak kind of at a 45-degree angle, so I'm still getting the richness and the majority of the sound that I need. But definitely those Peter Piper picked, all of the pickles in the freaking world, because I don't remember the freaking I don't remember the whole statement, but P, you can definitely hear those plosives going on right there for the Peter Piper plosives. And so one of the things I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna switch out. I'm right now talking into the windscreen, the pop filter that came with the Shure MV7X. One of the things people did on the Shure MV7 is they switched out the actual pop filter or windscreen and they replaced it with the original Shure SM7B pop filter, all right? And so I'm going to switch that out and see if it's going to help with those plosives, and we'll see what the sound test sounds like then. Okay, now you're listening to me talk still again in the Shure MV7X, but now I'm using the pop filter or the windscreen, whatever you want to call it, from the Shure SM7B. And already you can tell there is a tremendous difference in the plosives. It's not as pronounced. There still is a little bit there, but it definitely is a lot better than what it was talking into the normal windscreen pop filter that came on the Shure MV7X. And one of the reason is, if you look at the length of the pop filters, you have a bit of distance between the capsule and the end of the pop filter coming from the Shure SM7B, so it's going to reduce that. But I think it actually sounds a lot better. I think that it rounds off the sound just enough to kind of give me that neutral sound. Not so much like the Shure SM7B, because to me it still sounds a little digitized. It still has a little bit of that digital age and not so much of that warm, natural, neutral sound that you get from the Shure SM7B, that classic natural radio podcast sound. But I think this definitely does help round it off, kind of shave off some of those plosives, make it a little bit more palatable, for people who are on the other end listening. And the other benefit is you can kind of fake, to say, hey, do you have a Shure SM7B? No, it's a Shure MV7X. But when you add this pop filter, it kind of does give you the look of the Shure SM7B if you are concerned about aesthetics. The only thing that gives it away is that big Shure logo on the side. But again, aside from aesthetics, I think this does add a bit of character to the sound and give you a more natural sound profile that is comparable to the Shure SM7B. All right, and one last test, because one of the things I do, I kind of have a different workflow depending on what I'm doing. So when I'm just making videos that I know I'm going to post on social media, or if I'm doing a live stream or something like that, even maybe specifically even YouTube, anything where I know I'm going to have music behind it, I try to cut down on the amount of time. I still love to do a lot of my editing in post production. But one of the things that I try to do is streamline my workflow, make it faster. I do use presets in Adobe Audition. Let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see more about. But actually using the audio processing features inside of the Rodecaster Pro, so I can kind of get the sound just about where I want it. I usually get about 80-85% of the way there, and I make just a few little tweaks as far as the presets that I have set to basically what I'm using inside the Rodecaster Pro. But right now you're listening to me talk again into the Shure MV7X. I'm still using the Shure SM7B windscreen pop filter, all right, so we can cut down on some of those plosives, and that's probably what I will use with this mic. And right now you hear what it sounds like with no audio processing. If I'm going live, this was a live stream where I'm doing something for social media and I have music playing in the background, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my processing so you can hear exactly what that sounds like, and we'll go through and I'll show you how I have all of those settings set up. All right, so now this is what the mic would sound like if I was actually doing a live stream, recording a video for YouTube or any type of social media content. So I have a high pass filter on. I'm cutting around about 71 hertz. Typically, anything, the human voice, you can kind of cut around 80 hertz, anything less than that. I do have some fans on, so that's the reason I'm cutting. I'm using a high pass filter, cutting around 70. Again, I do use a noise gate just because if I'm doing like interviews or something like that, and I don't really want my breathing or anything, you know, to get picked up or any noise in the background. Noise gate can be very tricky. If you want to take down these settings, this is kind of what I use, you know, as a safe bet, you know, so you don't hear it. So it can be more natural. You can kind of tell when somebody doesn't know how to use noise gate. You can definitely tell because everything goes completely silent, and it's not really a natural change, right? I don't use the de-esser just because it just makes more sense for me to do it in post. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way it does my audio live. I am using a compressor. Those are my compressor settings right there. I'm about -17 dB, 4:1 ratio, 2.5 on the attack, 0.23 on the release, and about 2 dB on the gain. And then as far as the effects, you know, big bottom would definitely use, I'm tuning that at about 70 hertz with a 68 drive, a mix of about 63. And then I never use oral exciter. If I feel like I need to add any highs, I'll actually EQ that and add that in post. So again, I just wanted to give you a taste of what it sounds like. This is with the audio processing on. And again, my workflow or my frame of thinking is if I'm going to be playing music in the background, I will go ahead and turn on my audio processing, get about 85% of the way there, and then I'll make my tweaks with my presets in Adobe Audition. And then this is if I was doing a podcast, I just want natural sound. I just want everything focused on the microphone, and I'll handle 100% of the processing in post. I'll turn off the processing, and this is the audio that you can expect to hear. Again, straight out of the box, and if you don't remember what that was, we'll go back. Again, we have dynamic setting on the microphone. We're coming in at a level of about 35. I might want to bump that to 36 just to give me, you know, a little safety net there. And the audio processing is turned off. All right, and the last test I wanted to show you was what this sounds like. If I was to process the audio, I told you what I try to do with all of the processing that I have in the Rodecaster Pro. I try to get it to about 80 to 85% of the way there, and then I go into Adobe Audition. I add my presets, and this is what it would sound like. Again, I use this specifically if I know I'm going to have music in the background. I don't have any right now because I wanted to get a true sound of what this actually sounds like. But yeah, this is the last audio test of how I would want my actual Shure MV7X to sound if I was going to use this, you know, as far as live streaming, doing any type of social media content, Zoom or anything like that. This is how I would process the audio. If you want to know again what those settings are, definitely let me know. I can do another video about that. I'll drop the link down to that in the description. I'm not going to drop the link down to that in the description because that video hasn't been made yet. But if you do want to know more about that, let me know in the comments and I can make a video on exactly what my settings are specifically for how I process the audio on the Shure MV7X. So hopefully you all were able to get some value out of everything that I talked about today. I'm signing off on the Shure MV7X. Am I going to retire the Rode Podmic? I don't know. I'm kind of loving the way this sounds. You know, I'm still recommending the Samsung Q2U as far as those of you who are definitely looking for a microphone. Best microphone you can buy under $100. It's kind of hard to beat the sound quality that you get. XLR, USB, and a headphone jack. But for those of you who are looking to take your podcast, live stream, YouTube videos, any type of social media content to the next level, and you have a little bit of more money to spend, but not necessarily the Shure SM7B money, Shure MV7X definitely gets Walt's stamp of approval. I think it definitely could be the best bang for your buck right now. But again, if this was your first time watching, I hope that you got much value out of it. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, click that bell so you can be notified every single time I post new content to the channel. But until the next time, you guys have a great day.